What is good, everybody? It is Vozashi here, and I'm here. I'm gonna do a little tips and tricks video. I don't know what to call this, little guide, tips and tricks, But you know, coming into Dragon Ball the Breaker's coming up. So as of now, this is the last day of beta that I'm recording this, and the tutorial from the beta doesn't teach you a lot of things, and I'm just like, it's a little questionable on that. So I'm gonna whip together this little video here to give you all, to more beginners who aren't more like experienced in the game, some tips on stuff, because I've seen a lot of players, a lot of players come in, they just get the basic shit of planting the keys, but they don't really tell you a lot. They don't really give you the tips on fighting and shit. They don't really like tell you upgrades work and whatever. So this little video here will be to basically, show you some stuff that the tutorial didn't necessarily. Now, come launch, maybe they will show this, or maybe some things will change. But just know this is as of the last beta. This is when I'm recording this. If I might redo this video sometime down the line, or amend it or something like but everything here should, for the most part, still carry over. So going in first off, since before we even get in the match, I want to point out this room over here. For those that don't know, this is the training room. So at the end of your matches, you will get, so the fire currency there, you'll get flames. At the end of survivor matches, you'll get flames, and also if you get duplicates from the gacha play, the spirit siphon shit, you get like 900 on a dupe or whatever, but you get those and you spend them here in the training area, the little fucking hyperbolic time chamber in place. And here you basically can buy supers for the characters, for the transfers you have, and you can upgrade your like usable skills and passives as a survivor. So here, supers you can buy for like big chunks, but you'll get them and they're usable in your transformations. Plain and simple. Skills here, you can upgrade. Little bug with the beta, the spirit siphon crash, or the place crashes. So here you can upgrade your skills and your passives, and you spend your flames on them like that. Once you get a skill to level 10, here's the big thing. Once you get a skill to 10, you can then use it on you can use it without needing the specific character. So for example, if I wanted to use the Sand Pod, I would need Vegeta. I need Vegeta equipped to do that. But if I level that skill up to level 10 to plus 10 with all the flames, then I won't need Vegeta to use that. And the same goes for passives and the actives here. Or the same goes for both of those. So right there I have movement, move speed, boost dirt. That's a Yamcha thing. I have Yamcha on now, but I have it at plus 10. So then I can just play any other character and still use that passive. So getting your skills to plus 10 is very good if you don't want to use that specific character. Like, for example, Solar Flare. Solar Flare is a really good one. That's what I'll go into next. Also, forgive me if I'm not staying in the menus too long. I'm having a weird bug in the beta where the game crashes if I'm staying in the menu for too long. You want to try to get the skills you really want to use up to level 10. Also, leveling those skills up decreases their cooldown. And that's the main thing. Is like you'll slowly lower the cooldown on all those little by little. But that's basically where all those flames will be spent. Now, on the topic of also leveling stuff up, if you're playing Raider, you go here in the main menu here, press R1. I'm on DualShock controller. As you level up a Raider, you get skill points. So here I got 5 on sale right now, and then I can level up some passives of his or his active skills. And again, active skills, doing that, you lower the cooldown. Passives, it's stuff like evolving, key track duration, and how long you can do it. I can't stay in the menus too long because of how this bug is in the game, and I don't know if I'm the only one who gets this bug, but I've already reported it. But Anyways, be sure to spend your flames and your skill points as you level up. Now, the skill points for the raiders are exclusive to that raider, right? So I had 4 on Cell, 1 on Frieza, right? So it's per raider level. You want to be spending those. And my recommendations for that as raider is the anything evolution based. Personally, I haven't messed with any cooldowns. I did a little bit. I did a few. So for Frieza, I went with like Midoriya and Zarbon just because I really like placing them out and using them as UAVs because I'm terrible at finding people out as Frieza. Whereas on Cell, you get the novelty of the key tracker. So for Cell, I really invested into auto evolving and for the first stage just to get to that first stage faster. Right, as soon as you're out there killing and going crazy, the better. Frieza, again, evolution stuff. I preferred to, I put mine in the one where Frieza's getting his ass kicked. He gets evolution. You get more of that. But Frieza, you can go crazy. That's just a good ass character no matter what. He's also got another one here. Let's see if I get to it real quick about my game crashing. Game crash. Okay. But basically, he has one where one of his passives is if he kills a Namekian civilian that doesn't have a Dragon Ball, he gets bonus evolution. Humans, he'll still get a small amount. Namekian with a Dragon Ball, small amount. Namekian without, his racism gives him bonus of evolution power. So something to keep in mind with Frieza. That's another little side tip there. It also gets XP if the raiders make a wish. So if the raiders get it, he also gets, he's got tons of way to evolve. I think I said XP, I meant evolution points, but you get what I mean, right? On the topic of skills and stuff, I would say important ones to really get, or I mean, you can run anything you want at the end of the day, really. But some really good ones are Solar Flare, right? Anything that like crowd controls the raider, anything that like stuns or controls the raider, like the raider trap, Solar Flare, Charm, Krillin's stinky ass shoe, and you get the point. Anything that's immobilized the raider. There could be more down the line, but those are the ones that we have now that I can think of. Those are really good. And hell, you can even, if you want to get trolly with it, you can run all those together and just fuck with the raider. If you have a hard time getting away, run 1 or 2 of those. Like, I know the raider trap is really annoying. I had a match where it's the first time I saw someone use it, and it really fucked me up. Other good ones to use are also mobility stuff. Sand Pod, Kaioken. Now, Kaioken right now is a bit buggy, right? Kaioken's supposed to go in as you basically fly forward in the direction you're facing, but there's kind of a bug right now in the beta where you sometimes fly backwards even when you're not. It's supposed to take you to whatever you're targeting. If you're not targeting, it takes you in the direction, but sometimes like this goes the wrong way, and it's got me killed several times for that. But anyways, if that's fixed on launch, it's a pretty good mobility option, right? Grappling hook. You start with grappling hook for free. Really good option. Sand Pod. If you can stash away and call it down, it's pretty much a good getaway from the raider. Now they can blow it up, so you got to be real careful with that. The mounts. I haven't really used the mounts too much. I can say though that I do not like the Nimbus. Some people might swear by it, but the games I've played as Raider, I've saw people on a Nimbus, and it's been an easy kill because it's not hard to notice a big yellow cloud out in the distance. Be careful with that one, The ground mounts, I haven't seen people use too much. I can't really say anything good or bad about them, but like, use what you want at the end of the day. Whatever works for you. These are just ones I can recommend as like strong options, right? There's also Oolong's change missile. I used that one a lot in the earlier betas, and I'm just If Kaioken is still bugged on launch, that might be the one to probably gravitate towards. Problem with that is it doesn't really go up or down that well. Like it doesn't really ascend or descend. It just flies forward, but you get it for a little bit. And then the prop change from Oolong, that one's hit or miss. Like that's most raiders are just gonna spam key blast all over places. You can probably do some sneaky shit with it. There's probably gonna be like some videos of people like sneaking around successfully using it. But I'm not a big fan of it, but I could see the applications. It's definitely something more advanced. And then there's the Yamcha one, which I didn't even know fucking exist. I didn't even know existed. The fake death, as you've probably seen it if you played Xenoverse, and if you know the Yamcha memes, it's the Yamcha pose. You basically just pretend to be dead. I don't know any raider that would be dumb enough to fall for it. I've never seen it in the game, but I assume you have to be pretty dumb to fall for it, because any raider worth their salt is gonna come absorb you after they down you or see you're down, and it's like, oh hey, he's not actually down. Again, I haven't seen it, I haven't used it, I haven't even got it from the siphon, so I can't speak on that. Moving on to passives. Passives run what you want, but dedicate one slot, and I mean this wholeheartedly. Dedicate one slot to auto charger. Auto charger will do so much for now. So going into it, you're probably thinking like, oh well, Zashi, you it only works till level 1, right? Or power charger is the right name. Excuse me. It only gets you to level 1. After that, it's a useless slot the rest of the game. But like, yeah, getting you to that level 1 though is very helpful, right? It's because if you get jumped early on, right? Like, because you know, end of the day, everything's RNG. Placement and shit is gonna be RNG. Or what you get from chests is gonna be RNG. Civilian placement's gonna be RNG. You can't guarantee you're gonna speedrun to level 1 immediately. You can, but you know, it's a safety net if anything. Because I've seen many a game where people will be at towards the end of the game, like super time machine up, and people are still level 0 somehow, which is baffling to me. But this can help you out. Say also you're unlucky on cubes, larva cells coming up to eat your ass, and you need to get out of there. Well, auto charge could get you that last second you need, so you can fly the fuck out of there. So that's, and also in the long run, if you think about it, it saves you cubes in the long run. It's a net gain of cubes, because with it automatically charging, that's less cubes you need and more for it to get to 1, and then it stops at 1, but all those rest of those cubes will now go towards getting you closer to level 3. So that is the one passive. I'm like, if you're gonna take one thing, that is the one to get. Rest of the passives, run whatever the hell you want. They're all pretty solid, right? There's Yamcha's passive VIP, which makes vending machines cheaper. I haven't really messed with it, but vending machines are expensive as hell. That's a good one. I've been experimenting with movement speed dirt. Again, another Yamcha passive. I've slightly noticed it being like faster, but I mean, I don't have too many points into it, so I can't really swear by it, but it's something to take. It's definitely something. Like, Trunks has the slide. That one, I keep forgetting to use it when I had it on. Personally, I prefer a big one. I prefer is the hover device. The hover device lets you cross gaps so much easier, especially hopping from the shrooms and C on the Cell Games map. Helped me out so many times there. You can also use the hover device to stop your little like the little mini stun you're in. Like if you fall off a high spot and land on the ground, your character kind of has to like regain their like balance a bit, I guess, to really explain it. But you can also use that to stop that like from happening. Like that's the last minute little hover, and you don't get that little micro stun there. But that's another one I'd say I highly recommend. You don't have to take that one. The only one I really recommend you take though is that auto charger. At least early on into the game, like starting out, take the power charger. I believe you buy it from the shop over here. That's another thing. The shop sells a couple passives, and then the rest are off of the transfers you get from the gacha machine here, the spirit siphon. Those are some really good ones. You start with a pretty decent one, the emergency transformation. You know, covers your ass if you get caught lacking. As you get better at the game, you can like swap that one out, so you know when to. You really want to transform early. You don't want that. You don't want that passive to go off, but I recommend early on starting out in the game, like being new, you have that on and it gives you that safety net. But as you get better, you eventually want to swap out of it and just know when to transform early, because you don't want to take that damage. Because once you come out of the form, you don't have a barrier, and they're just one shot killing you, which they're probably already comboing you if they're beating your ass, you know. Emergency escape device. If you want to go for clutch, if you're terrible at escaping zones because you're just not good at traversing the map, or if you want to go for clutch key plays, which is what I use this for, emergency escape device is real good for the clutch plays. So a lot of the times, as a raider is going to blow up a zone that hasn't had its key place that you found a key for. With the emergency escape device, you can take the risk of putting that key in while they're channeling the area destruction. And several times I've gotten it off, and it's a wild trade. So normally, if you're in a zone that's getting blown up, you get down. They put you in another zone and you're down. With the emergency escape device, it teleports you out as the zone's getting destroyed, and you lose your barrier. You're at that one hit from basically being KO'd. But a strategy I like to do is just place that key. Keys placed, you know, and they wasted their area destruction. If they could have, you know, assuming there was another place that could have destroyed, they, you know, basically beat them to the punch on that. And then usually I'll have a barrier recovery device, and it's just like nothing happened at all, right? So that's a clutch play with you that do with that. So that's what I recommend as a personal recommendation if you want to go for plays like that, or if you're just not good at traversing the map, which is understandable. Find a build you like, find a build that works for you. You don't have to take what I'm recommending, but hear me out on some of those recommendations though. Let's go into a practice match here. That's another thing you do in here, set up a practice match. Here's another thing I'll recommend. Use this practice tool. Practice. You can practice as a raider, you can practice as a survivor. Practice your characters and know what your stuff does before going into a match. I know people don't like that and don't want to hear that, but practice your stuff. It will help you and it will save you a headache in the long run. You can even set the stuff to like, you know, limited. You can set the stuff to like reduce cooldowns and stuff. But it's like practice your stuff, read your stuff, read your passives, read your raider stuff. But yeah, so we're here now. As you see from what I talked about earlier, the auto charging is charging my level 0 there. For this part of the guide, I'm going to talk about hero change levels. Yeah, we're gonna talk about change levels. So stuff's auto filling. Let's just eat a cube just to speed this up. Eat another cube. Let's take a cooldown drink. So right now, level 1, right? So let me explain how the levels work, because this is the main thing that annoyed me with the tutorial, is that they don't tell you this. Now again, I don't know if the tutorial will change on launch, but can I find the raider? So the raider's level 2 and I'm level 1.
You're done.
Now watch what happens if I try to melee him.
Come on, cocky little worm.
He slaps me away. And this is gonna happen every time.
You cocky little worm.
Every time you try to melee him.
Stay calm. Stay calm.
That's gonna happen every time you try to melee him if you're under leveled. And this is the main thing they should teach you in the tutorial, but I don't think they do. But yeah. So that's the big thing that a lot of people I see do that. Don't melee the raider if you're So if you're the same level or higher, then you can get the melee off. And the melee is obviously, on PlayStation, it's square. It's whatever your button to shoot is. That's your melee. If you're far away from the raider, let me go back in there. Yeah. If you're far away, it will turn into a key blast. Here's another tip with the transformation. If you press right stick, you can cancel it, and it will give you a percentage of the cooldown back. Here I have reduced cooldowns set on practice mode, so it automatically went back. But you can say if you accidentally activate it, right stick, which is the crouch sneak button, and you'll basically get refunded a portion of it.
You're done.
So yeah, meleeing won't work, but no matter what level you are, key blasts and specials will always hit them. That will always do damage. Melee won't. Though supers and key blasts will. And if you're ever in a situation where you have to fight, and I don't recommend fighting in level 1 ever, but if you have to, use key blast. Also, don't do this. The gun does nothing to him. The gun does nothing to him. I see a lot of people try to shoot him with the gun. It does nothing. With that said, though, if you're in melee range and you do that gun move next to him, you will punch him. You'll get slapped away. It will basically, you'll get swatted away. You'll take damage, but you'll distract the raider for a bit. Now, that's another thing. That's another play you can do with this. So if you need to get him off the super time machine that spawns in the middle, or if you need to like distract him for whatever reason, you can just sacrifice yourself and take that hit, right? You can just go in and, because he has to waste time for that. It hurts you, but you could, those few seconds can win you the game, especially if the super time machine is about to finish. That is a good thing to keep in mind. Let me show when we're the same level. Take a couple of cubes here. Here we go. Same level. Oh, he blasted my ass. That's another thing. In this mode, if you press circle and whatever the equivalent is on anything else, you do a dodge. Get used to doing this. See there, I did like a little vanish attack on him when I dodged his attack. Okay. So yeah, same level, I can melee him now. Melee. Oh, okay, so calm down. So melee doesn't do as much damage anymore, but it also locks them down for a long time. And if you have multiple people, you can have multiple people meleeing him at once. And while he's getting meleeed, he can get hit by key blasts and supers. So a good tip is when you're fighting in a group. A good tip when you're fighting in a group is have at least one person melee him. At least one person. You want to be laying the smackdown on this man. And then after that, everyone else can either hop in or pelt their specials. And on the topic of special, make sure if you're gonna do the special that you're in a spot to actually land it, because this does eat up your timer. You can also use it with less than the amount that you have, and I recommend if you're in a fight, end your last bit of meter with a special, because it's about to run out anyways, and they let you use that little bit left to get one last hit while it's about to run out. But mainly if that's in a big fight. That's in a big fight that you can get away with that, do that. Otherwise, if you're solo and you're not about to kill him, run. Run. A lot of things people don't do, and which is what I recommend for level 1. Never fight in level 1 unless you have to. Use this flight to fucking run. Use this fight to just get out of there, stun him with a shoe, stun him with a solar flare, stun him with something, and just get out of there. Just run. Don't waste your life. If you cannot confidently kick his ass, or if you have no backup, just run. Just fucking run. And it may suck. It may suck to just have to throw that all away, like throw away the meter and shit. Like, I get it, but living is way better. You may have noticed them. When the super time machine comes up, eventually, and he kind of takes a while with it, Trunks will send down these green packages with green beacons on the map. Those are supplies. They will have a bunch of these cubes in. So even if you're lagging behind on levels, you can kind of pick those up, sauce up. There'll be a barrier device in there, and then there'll be these cooldown drinks. Cooldown drinks are really important because you can drink them and automatically recover your cooldown on your change. These two are your best friends: charge power and cooldown drink. Charge power if you're desperately in need of it. Cooldown drink always good. Now the regulars, the little green ones, it will give you a small chunk of the cooldown back. Gold gives you a huge chunk. I don't think it's completely full, but I think it's like a good 80%. Rocket vending machine, don't touch that shit. I mean, rocket launcher is good for some clutch plays for distracting and stunning the raider, but yeah, it's not gonna. It's not a high priority, I'd say, on items. Another big tip. So another big tip. We're talking items here. SENZU beans. People, please stop eating your SENZU bean as soon as you go down. Stop that. Because the raider will just instantly hit you again, and you will die. You will die. You already used your down. You got up. You will be dead. Only eat the SENZU bean if you sneak away from the raider, and they're not on you. So like if they're being distracted by another player, that's when you eat it. I know people see a prompt, like, gotta press that prompt real fast. Don't. Just don't. If you have it, just don't. Fuck it. Hell, if anything, if you're about to die, drop it. And to drop an item, it's the trigger. To drop an item, right trigger, X, right trigger, X. And it, you know, the equivalent on Xbox or keyboard. I'm sorry, I'm only doing it on the one. But you get the point. You bring up your item help, and then it's the little trash can icon. So if you know you're about to die, might as well just drop it. So that way, when you do get down by the raider, your buddy can come up. The SENZU beans are right there. They pick it up. They give it to you. SENZU beans, you use them on a down person, you get them up instantly. You don't have to do the res timer. They're instantly up, and they're ready to go. So you're better off just use them on other people. Do not eat them yourself unless you can sneak away. Too many people I saw in the beta instantly ate them when they got down, and as a raider, I just killed them again, and then they were dead. Like, don't, for the love of everything, do not eat your SENZU bean instantly. Do not. Another tip I can go with here. Depending on the radar you get, play on your radar. Play around your whatever radar you find. So here we have the Dragon Ball radar. If you find any of the Dragon Ball radars, hunt the Dragon Balls. Right? If you find a power key radar, hunt for the power keys. If you find a civilian radar, use that to help you get change power, right? I'd say civilian's probably lower of the three, but like power key, hunt them all down. Use everything in your power to speed run those keys, because the biggest struggle the raider has as right now is that super time machine going off. Dragon Balls, especially if you get radar 3, this gold one.
Here comes
I didn't mean to do it. Especially if you get that radar, use it to hunt things down. You can even, like, you know, this is perfect actually. You can fly around to get it. Like, hunt these Dragon Balls. Get the Dragon Balls. Wish to become stronger. That, you know, level 4 on his own, depending on the raiders level and their skill, can be tough. But, you know, having that permanent level 4 person is big. But also, like, you know, speed running the keys, get as many as you can to get more time on the super machine, also really good. Getting civilians, you get charge level. Charge level helps you live. You know, the higher level you have, the more you're able to fight back, the more time you have in it. So play around the radar you get. You know, sometimes you might not even get a radar, but, you know, at that point, just do everything. But whatever you grab, play around it. Even if someone else is already hunting the Dragon Balls, hop in and help them. If someone's, you know, carrying all like 4 that you have, and you don't have any, still hunt some down, grab them, take them to the guy. And that's another thing. And another thing that I'm seeing a lot of people don't notice. Let me get a Dragon Ball here. We got one in here. When you pick up a Dragon Ball, right there, it's in your bottom HUD. Right there, it says right there, the 2 buttons to press to place it. I've seen too many people in the beta run around with the Dragon Ball, and there's so many ways to notice you have it. So many run around with it, and then don't, and then so you'll see this a lot especially if you're a new player. People will spam the stamp, and that basically means they want to get the Dragon Balls, or they have the Dragon Balls and they want to give theirs to whoever has them all, or they want you to give them theirs. So be on the lookout for those stamps. Those stamps are the only ways we have to communicate. And if you see someone carrying a bunch or run up around you and they're kind of like, you know, caveman emoting trying to get your ball or whatever, just place it for them. Just place it. Both sticks. Just place it. Please, do your team a favor. Use teamwork. Get that Shenron wish. Here's another tip with your gun. So the use for the gun here. You see stuff out here like this, shoot it, break it. Stuff will be inside of it. And the main one is change power. Shoot everything you come across, and you'll learn real fast what the things you shoot, like little boxes, barrels, little haystacks, jars. Sorry, lady. We're doing a tutorial right now. The jars you can run into and they'll automatically break, but still, kind of want to use the gun because it's like you can do it ahead of time. It's a range. You also get, you know, money from it. Just shoot everything, and you'll learn real quick what's destroyable. Shoot them. There's stuff in it. Never leave it. See, look at that. You can get change power large in there. Never leave a building or area without just busting everything. Too many people are knowing this. Too many people aren't breaking these things. But this device right here, when you got hit and that red ring means your barrier's down. The barrier device, when you're low health, get one up and then hold the button. And you have to hold it the whole time while it charges, and then afterwards your barrier is back, you can take another hit. Alright, so here we are on the Raider side of things. Again, Raider's pretty, you know, pretty explanatory on what to get. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Like, it's, you know, not really like too many kind of tips and stuff I can give here, other than like, I mean, it's a fun little thing. If you press that's on PlayStation L2 controller, you can bring up little taunts.
Once I revert to an egg,
you
I must bury myself.
Kind of just freak people out. Please don't spam those. It's really annoying, but you know, that's the thing. Raider, a big thing is just being aware, watching and listening, just so you can find civilians and players alike. I don't have any players here. I'm not too sure if I can spawn in bot players in the practice mode, but
Where am I?
basically early on, especially as larva, so, and you see my auto evolve down there as it's going up slowly. So, biggest thing I could talk about with Raider is the zone destruction, right? So as you level up, as I went from like 1 to 2 here, you see in the bottom right, L1, R1, I can destroy a zone. And I see a lot of people not use this. I guess, you know, easy to miss or whatever, but a lot of people don't use this. Also, each stage has its own taunt with the taunt things.
And you can call me by my name, Cell.
But a lot of people I see don't use it or use it poorly. So top left, you see all the areas. As they're marked now, no one has found a key. If someone finds a key, the zone corresponding to it, the letter will outline in white. It'll be, you know, it'll just be, it'll basically be like fully outlined and it'll be white. That means they have a key, they haven't placed it yet. When they do, when the key is placed, it'll be like gold, yellow. So a big thing for area destruction is, and you get one use of these as you level up. If you don't use it, you level up, you wasted the one you had. It's gone. You only have the one. And so the one you had for stage 2 will be gone if you went to stage 3 and then use stage 2, but you will have the one for stage 3. So basically with the area destruction, a big thing to do is as soon as someone finds a key, blow up. You want to try to blow up the area so they can't plant it, because the more of those keys they plant, the faster the super time machine is going to go. And you don't want that, because it's going to be hell on you. That said though, there's plenty of ways to play with this, right? Obviously, you don't have to do what I told you, but make sure you do use it though. It's very good. It'll save you later. A whole zone gone also means they won't have an emergency escape pod there, making your time for that easier, so they can't, run away as easily. But let's just go ahead and blow one up. So yeah, you go up here, you move the camera, and then you got, you can see each zone. You have a limited time to pick, so make sure you pick. Let's just say D for the fuck of it. You do it, and
You bore me.
you wait it up as they have time to get the fuck out of there, and if they're crazy enough, they can clutch the key plant. But blow up the zone, no one can go there, not even you. It is now an invisible wall, and every civilian in that zone is now dead. If a player was in there, they're downed or teleported out if they have an emergency escape, and their body is put elsewhere on the map. Dragon Balls that were in that zone are put elsewhere on the map, and every other item in there is just gone now. Cubes and all that likes. But Dragon Balls will get moved. They don't screw you over on that. Civilians there are dead though. They are dead. They are gone. They're dead. So another tip with that area destruction, if there's a part on the map you don't like I blew up D because I do not like D on this map in particular, that's perfectly viable. If there's a part of the map, even if they already have the key planted, if you just don't like that part of the map, blow it up. Right? Like, whatever helps you in the long run, just fucking blow it up. Which is why I'm saying, like, you don't have to destroy it, you don't have to full on key denial, but the less zones, the less keys they have to plant, the slower the time machine's gonna go. Right, so like I said, I use my one, and then I'll get another once I get to like stage 3, and then another at stage 4. So you will have at most 3 zones blown up. Blow up a zone that already has a key planted, that key is planted. You cannot take a key away from that is planted. If it's planted, don't blow it up unless you just really don't like that zone, or if you think you can catch some people slack in there. I see so many raiders try to blow up a zone with a key in it, and I assume most of the time, a lot of times it's a low level raider, and a lot of times I assume they just think that key is gone. But I'm pretty sure in the tutorial Trunks explains that even, so that's just a lot of people not paying attention. But once the key is planted, it's planted. It is safe. It is protected by some magical bullshit or whatever. So yeah, you can't take the key from it. That's why I'm saying that if someone's found the key and it's not planted, you can deny that and make them waste their time. Right? Now, with the area destruction, even if you destroy, if let's say, so I blew up D, let's say A, B, and E are planted. If I were to blow up C, then of course that key's gone, but then that automatically starts the super time machine. So if you want to go ahead and get that out the way, by all means go for it. What you can also do, you know where they're gonna go. You could start hunting around C. That's a little strategy I like to go for. I'm like, okay, well, I know a lot of them gonna want to get the thing going, so D's now my hunting ground, right? And even if you have an area denial for that, you could save it, right? You could save it. You could wait. You could be like, I'm gonna try to hunt for any key hunters here, and if they do find it, then you can go blow it up, or hell, like I said, you can blow up another zone that you just don't like, or you don't want to have to like guard for the escape pod. You use your tools as Raider, basically. Use your tools. As even if you could get by, like you could easily get by with just the basic shit like punches and key blasts, but use your tools, especially when you're getting jumped on. A lot of like cells and Frieza see get jumped and they don't use their defensive to get out of shit. You also got circle to dodge. So, another thing is Raider, which a lot of people, I don't see a lot of people really take advantage of. Raider can use the radar, right? The Raiders have hands, so they can use this. They can't use any other item. They can only pick up Dragon Balls, and they can pick up the radar. So if you can get your hands on a radar, use it. It will help you. They're hunting the Dragon Balls. You can find them. You're playing Frieza. Hunt the Dragon Balls. Become immortal. Right, like come down, pick that shit up. You know, it's civilian radar, huge. It's another thing. They can open the box too, right? They can't take the thing, so it's just there for the next survivor to come grab. But if you can get your hands on a radar, right, you can really. Power key not as useful to you. Yeah, Raider can use radar, and I really recommend it, especially if you're playing Frieza. It'll help you get those Dragon Balls. It'll help you get that Immortal Wish and make things a lot more funny for you. Remember, you can fly and move around with this, so you make the best use out of this, honestly. All right, and that's about everything I could think of tips wise. Something else comes to me. I might remake this video on launch when after the game comes out. Probably be a lot less messy. Again, bear with me. I was dealing with bugs, and video was also kind of last minute. Something I just want to throw together. Last day of beta, like literally the last few hours as I'm like recording this. If you learned anything from this or got anything useful out of this, you know, great. I want to make everyone better at this game. I want some real good matches. I want some, good Survivor to, help and stuff. And that's another thing with Survivor. Help your teammates. It's easy to play selfish, but help your teammates, but don't be too overzealous to be a hero. I guess one final tip going out, and I see a lot of people do it, is if you see the Raider camping a body, don't go in and try to be a hero and feed the Raider even more. Like, assess the situation. Use the information you have. Make smart decisions. That's end of the day. The biggest tip I can give for playing Survivor is be smart. Be smart. Just assess the situation. Think a little. Help those that you can help. But if someone's too far gone, then you might just have to let them slip. Again, a lot of it is assessing the situation. And then a big thing is when that super time machine comes up, go to it, help power it up, save or change power, help distract Cell while that power is up. Just use teamwork. If you have a level 4 with give people your Dragon Balls if they're collecting them, help them make the wish, distract the Raider for them, whatever you can to get the W, right? And obviously you can easily play selfish and get the escape W. You can play like that if you want. But, at the end of the day, we all feel good when we see the Raider dumbfounded as they're vanishing from existence or as they're getting blasted away by the whole team's key blast, But, play how you want. That's all I can say at the end of the day. Have fun with the game. Leave a comment, leave a like. If there's other stuff, if there's other tips you think I missed that you want to give people, comment below. Leave a like if the video helped you or if you would like to see more stuff like this. I really fucking enjoy this game. This is probably one of my favorite Dragon Ball games. And I can't wait for it to come out. And I hope this game lasts quite a bit. Obviously, this game is going to need crossplay. And it's going to need a lot of updates. But I would like to see this game thrive, as I really like it. I don't really like these type of like asymmetrical survival horror games. But this game, I love it. Love every aspect of it. I love anyone interested, hit the subscribe button, you know all that jazz. I'm not gonna tell y'all how to YouTube, but Anyways, I'll see you. This has been Vozashi. I'll see y'all here on PC, out in the temporal streams, fighting for my life or hunting you down. Later.